Hi, I'm Cheryl Golden. I'm your professor of history for the Newman University core course, Science and Society. Welcome to class. I hope you've already had a chance to look at Dr. Finling's introductory video that was put together not only by Dr. Finling, but also our fabulous graphics design folks here at Newman University. That's like the best production element you're going to get in this whole class. It's really slick, and I hope you enjoy it. Please be patient with me on some of my productions. At any rate, welcome to our class, Science and Society. This class meets the Newman University General Education Program. It is a core class, so that means it's interdisciplinary and it's upper division. So welcome. This video we're calling it the navigation video. How you're going to get through this class, how are you going to go from place to place. Thank you first off for finding your way to the Begin Here page. You made it. That's half the struggle. So let's go through, if we can, some of the elements on this first page, and then we'll just get you going on the rest of it. So as you can see, we have this video I'm working on right now, and then we have an announcements tab. If your announcements for this class should come to you through your Newman email, so long as your Newman email is the email that's set up at Blackboard, but you know how to do that. So make sure your email is current, and the email in our system is the one you're using. And announcements will come to you. There'll be reminders of due dates. There will be clarifications should we have any confusions. So please keep ahead on those announcements. Please open those when they come to you. Don't ignore them. Technology standards. Students are expected to have a computer, broadband connectivity to the internet. You're expected to use your Newman email address, right? All these things are here. Please do this class on a computer, on a laptop. Please don't try to do it on your way to picking up the kids or after work at 2 o'clock in the morning. I know sometimes that's the only time to do it, but give yourself some dedicated time, certain times of the week, to work on this class. Put it in your schedule. Maybe Mondays at 4 and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Whatever works for you. But try to set aside a significant amount of time each week to make sure you're working on the class, and try to have some uninterrupted time. Science and Society. It's a lot of history. It's a lot of science. I hope it'll be a lot of fun, but you need to be able to give it the time. So, and a computer, a laptop, instead of your phone, might be a little better. Just saying. Some of the videos look really great, and you'll want a bigger screen. Again, I'm Cheryl Golden. I'm your professor of history for this class. Please feel free to contact me if you have any trouble whatsoever. My field of study is ancient Greece and Rome, so I like the early days, but I also like the history of science. It's one of my favorite topics, and it's one of my research interests. So come along with me on this journey. Here we have our course description. So if we could just briefly take a look at the course description. The scientific reasoning and discovery have transformed the way we think about the world around us. That's true, yeah. And our place within it. Absolutely. Both of those. At the same time, cultural, historical, and social factors provide context for scientific inquiry and are complementary paths toward understanding the universe in which we live. Yeah, I don't know who wrote that. So basically what it's saying is that the cultural, historical, and social factors, the historical context of some of the greatest developments in the history of science are important. So whether it's Archimedes in Alexandrian Egypt in the 3rd century BC, coming to understand the concept of buoyancy, right? Or it's Galileo coming across a spyglass, right? In northern Italy, because the northern Italians are great sailors. He comes across a spyglass and says, hey, wait, this is also good for turning on the stars, but it'll need a few modifications, right? Or it's Albert Einstein, working in a time period of World War I and World War II, right? How might that have influenced his work? How might that have influenced the way his work was then applied to technology? Yeah? So we'll be looking at the historical factors that surrounded these great scientific thinkers and try to figure out how society influenced them, but then of course in turn how they influence society. So that's where we're headed. In the process, we will be looking at a large number of revolutions. We're going to look at the agricultural revolution in early history. We're going to look at the scientific revolution in the early modern era. We're going to look at the industrial revolution. We're going to look at the information revolution. We're going to look at so many revolutions your head's going to spin. Finally, we're going to try to take a look at how science and society has influence upon things that are important in everyday life, from the food supply to religion to literature, the environment. There are certainly so many other categories we can look at, but those are the ones we're going to sort of focus upon in this class. This is also a Newman Studies core course, as you know. It meets the Universe We Live component of our general education program. As such, I think you've already figured out we're going to be looking at the scientific method. We're going to see how modern science differs from earlier science. We're going to look at the relationship between science and technology. No problem. We're going to take a look at how Catholicism and other faith traditions may have responded to science, may have accommodated or even supported scientific development. So that'll be interesting as well. We're going to do all of this in 8 weeks. Buckle your seatbelts, right? Here we go. The books that I have assigned for this class are 2. One's a textbook, and that's by McClellan and Dorn. You see them here. They are trying to look at the history of science and technology in the world. It's a big book. It's paperback. It's not too expensive, which is great. It's a good book to keep around for reference in future. But it will cover a lot of material. We won't be able to cover the whole book. We've got 8 weeks. It's just not going to happen. But we'll kind of hit and miss, pick and choose our chapters. Probably about half to 2/3 we'll read. So hang in there. If you want to read more, you go. But for our purposes, we're going to focus primarily on the Western side of the materials they offer. We also have a work of Western literature, one of the classics of the modern era, and this is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Many of you may have seen movie adaptations of Frankenstein. Maybe you even read the book in high school. I hope you did. We're going to take another stab at it, if you will, in this class, looking at how science is influencing the development of literature, one of our goals for the class. If you keep moving down on this page, you'll see our syllabus and our course calendar. Please read that. You don't want me to read you the syllabus. That would just be silly. But please read the syllabus. Please read the course calendar. It will have lots of information for you about important due dates. The other thing you're going to want to take a look at is this link here on critical essay assignments. We actually have a video for you. Again, Finley and I put this together for another class. We have a video for you on the best way to tackle the writing in this class. Writing will be 60% of your grade. I know. We've broken it down into pieces, so you have one thing due every other week. It's an 8-week class. Got to get going on it. But please take a look at that video. It will help you sort of organize your thoughts, organize your ideas for these critical essays. You have a grading scale, which appears in our student catalog, our student handbook. And then as you go through, please do read these expectations of students. Online classes can be a chore. It can be hard to get you motivated each week in an online class, but please keep up your good work, keep up your good attitude, and just power through. There is a discussion board. The discussion boards are worth a good 20% of your grade, so please do come to those. There are 1 or 2, depending on the week. There's usually at least 1 due every week. There might be 2 in a given week. There's 2 due this first week. One of them is, hey, introduce yourself. So that won't be too bad, but please get going on that. We do want you to think about when you're posting at these discussion boards that you should maintain a positive tone. Most of your communication these days is going to be online, through emails, through text messages, on the phone. So keeping a positive tone keeps your audience engaged, right? And sometimes we're going to hit some controversial issues, whether it's the role of Darwin in the classroom or the role of cell phones in society. We're going to hit some controversial issues that sometimes get people a little on edge. Please keep it civil. Keep a good tone. We will be monitoring those discussions. The discussions are indeed part of your grade. And if I have to come in and kick you out of a discussion forum, I'm just going to do it. So let's be good to each other. So you've read this whole page. Go back and review the things we just passed over. Now what? Now that you've got everything set up on this first page, please go back up to the top, and the other button you're going to want is this weekly course content. And if you go to the weekly course content area, you'll find that week by week we have things set up for you. I love this image here of the Greeks here. Look at this guy. This is an early laser gun. This is Archimedes demonstrating how he could harness the power of the sun in a giant mirror to take out an enemy ship. Yeah, well, he put it down on paper. I don't think it ever really worked. But anyway, so here we go. Each week you'll have something new. So for the first week we have early civilization and the agricultural revolution. As you take a look at this, I usually try to provide an image. This is an ancient tool for grinding grain. I mean, it just looks like a little rock and a ball on top of that. So this is actually a tool that's been honed by human hands. So that's one of the earliest objects that we have that's actual technology. So as you can see, please do take a look at this. We have weekly lesson objectives. We want to learn about the connections between science and technology. We want to read and assess 2 scholarly approaches to the development and spread of technology in early human history. Let's see, you're also going to have some tasks to do. Every week, I'll ask that you read all the materials and view all the videos assigned for that week. Please, you've got to read the materials, you've got to watch the videos in order to keep up. Please, again, set aside some time each week where life is busy, but try to set aside some time each week and keep those appointments with yourself on this class. So whether it's, say, Monday at 2 o'clock and then Tuesday at 9 a.m. and you're doing your work for your Science and Society class, fantastic. But make yourself come to class online. Maybe at the same time every week, if that helps you. But make yourself come to class every week. You're expected to spend in an 8-week class, I hate to tell you, a good 8 to 10, maybe 12 hours a week on this course. So set aside the time. That's for everything, right? Reading, watching videos as though you were in class for a lecture, discussing points of view. Just because it's online doesn't mean it takes less of your time. So please set aside the time. So read all the materials and view all the videos in each content folder. In this particular week, you have 2 discussions to do. You have some introductions, which came first, science or technology, and then there's a reading quiz due on Saturday. So get going. So if you're taking a look at week 1 and you click on this, then you'll go to week 1 and you'll find that I've got, again, the assignments for the week that you should be reading, a reminder to budget your time. Here's the first writing assignment, not due till week 2, but the first writing assignment, give you a little heads up on that. And then I've got some videos for you from Egypt and Mesopotamia. We've also got some ideas coming from McClellan and Dorn about what are these great buildings for from antiquity? Why are we building Stonehenge? Why are we building pyramids? Are calendars actually the first science and technology efforts of early civilization, right? So that's what we'll be getting into. And then finally, you'll have a tab on what's due this week, right? And so I'll remind you that there's a discussion due on introductions, there's a discussion on science and technology, which came first, and then there's a quiz, right? So please take the time to explore the class, go through everything that's here, budget your time, and please, going back to begin here, I guess, please make sure that you've read through this first begin here page, read everything, make sure you have the computer that you need, and if you have any questions at all, please always feel free to contact me. Always feel free, if you're in the vicinity, if you're on campus, stop by my office. That's absolutely fine. That's great. And let's talk about science and society. Let's talk about science and technology and human history. Looking forward to working with you. Good luck.